Hi everyone, and welcome to our monthly MBH Board Chat with me, your host, Lisa Maynard-Atem. Now, usually the format for these chats that I have a conversation with our CEO, but today we're mixing it up and we're doing it a little bit differently. Today, I'm delighted to welcome our board apprentices, Lewis Elsey and Chloe Andrews. Hi, how are you both?
Good, thank you.
Good, thank you.
Really nice to have you on because my journey started as a board apprentice. So it's nice to speak to two other board apprentices. So before we get into the questions, I thought you could introduce yourselves and tell our MBH community a little bit about yourselves. So Chloe, we'll kick off with you.
Yeah, so my name is Chloe Andrews. I'm born in Essex. I grew up very academic, loving studies. Went to university. I studied French for 4 years. I went and lived in France for the year as well, which was great. And then post university, COVID hit, unfortunately. So I decided to take a completely different route and go into private yachting, which was a fantastic experience. Done a lot of traveling, met a lot of people, done that for about 1.5 years, and then circumstances changed and I decided to come home, and which has kind of led me to where I am now, as office and marketing manager at Gill Prime, and I've been here for nearly 1 year now. It's a completely different role and lifestyle, but once again it was a kind of a challenge that I wanted to tackle head on, and and obviously now I've been welcomed into MBH. I've been able to be part of the female leadership program with MBH, and obviously now a board apprentice here as well. So it's amazing to be here, and thanks for having us on for the chat, Lisa.
Thanks, Chloe. Over to you, Lewis.
Yeah, thank you. So Lewis Elsey, currently based in sunny Dubai. So I relocated to Dubai beginning of this year. So I'm currently working in accountancy and finance recruitment. So that would be covering the Middle East, but predominantly the UAE. Prior to that, I was working with Geisha and GS Contracts, who are both part of MBH in the construction vertical. So I was involved with Geisha for 5 years and then GS Contracts for around 2. So was quite fortunate to be involved with MBH more from the company level. And then more recently at the beginning of this year, being involved with MBH as a board apprentice. So I get to see MBH in a different light. So very, very fortunate. And thanks for the opportunity.
Well, it's fantastic to both have you on. So I thought I'd kick off. First question, what attracted you to the idea of becoming an MBH board apprentice?
I'll start. So for me, I felt like it was definitely an opportunity that you couldn't turn down. I thought it was just a fantastic way to network with new individuals and from a diverse range of industries and different businesses. And I just thought it was like such a unique opportunity to be given as the young female. I feel like this is my time to try new things and learn, and I've never been in like a situation where in board meetings or anything like that. So I felt like it was just a great way to build up my CV and also network basically.
Fantastic. What about you, Lewis?
Yeah, for me, it was just to understand in greater detail how a board works. If I talk from my time with Geisha and GS, being involved at the company level, smaller in terms of scale, it was good to be part of MBH, get exposure to different industries and the day-to-day running of a board, really. And especially with the recent challenges with COVID, etc., just to see firsthand how a board would operate and overcome those challenges. So that, as well as like Chloe mentioned, for me personally, it's great as an area of growth and development, especially so early on in my career. So that was the main reason, really.
Okay, well, that leads nicely into my next question. So you've been board apprentices now for a couple of months. What has your experience been like? Has it been what you thought it would be? Has it differed in any ways? I'd really be interested to know what it's been like for you so far. So Chloe, I'll go to you.
Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed being part of the board meetings. Obviously, at the start, it was quite daunting as I've never been in the situation where I'm surrounded by so many individuals of like high and senior positions of companies. But yeah, so a little bit intimidating at the start, but that was probably just me being in my own head. But since being a part of it, it's been amazing. I feel like I've been given a lot of opportunities within it as well. Thanks to Vicky, now I'm able to get more involved with MBH's ESG strategy and attending meetings for that, which also I've just gained a lot of experience even researching about subjects that wasn't entirely knowledgeable about before. So yeah, I'd say that's the biggest part. It's just the opportunities once again have just been astounding since being part of it. And the board meetings themselves are obviously very intricate. There's a lot going on, but so at the start it's a little bit overwhelming, but as you go on, there's a lot of support, lots of one-to-one chats after as well, which has been great because I'm able to, if there's any questions that I have that I wouldn't necessarily ask during the board meeting, I can ask in my one-to-one mentors with Callum or Vicky.
Oh, that's fantastic. What about you, Lewis?
Yeah, for me, it's been really interesting. I think what kind of stuck out to me from the outset was how everyone in the board is all kind of pulling in the same direction, trying to move the MBH forward. So learning about that and being part of that and the way that can be done, especially because of MBH being a publicly traded entity and those intricacies as well. That's something that's new to me. So that's been quite insightful. And then because you've got people from different backgrounds, no matter your background, you can all contribute and give your own opinion. So that's been quite insightful as well.
Okay, fantastic. So in terms of the Board Apprentice Programme, obviously it's about creating future leaders. And for me, leadership has always been about the creation of a society that works for everybody and a diverse path that others can follow. So going off the experience you've had of being a board apprentice, what is leadership for you, you would say, at this stage? Chloe, I'll go to you.
Yeah, for me, I feel like leadership starts with an individual acknowledging their own strengths and their own weaknesses, and then rallying a team together that then complements those, but also challenges those. I think it's really important that leaders will like continuously invest in not only themselves but their team around them, if that makes sense. And I think, Lisa, if you remember in the female leadership cohort, I'll always remember that one seminar that was discussing David Marquette's submarine theory about the importance of developing an environment for thinking. And so the team are able to like learn, develop and like become leaders themselves. So then you have a team of leaders rather than followers. And I feel like for me, that's one of the biggest things like leadership wise, I would say. Yeah,
I definitely agree with creating a team of leaders. I think that's really, really important and empowering for people. Lewis, what about you?
Yeah, leading by example, I think for me is definitely one of the key areas. I think as a leader, you need to lead by example in the way you act, because I think people take for granted that as a member of the team or as an employee, you look towards that leader and they set the standards, and they set the culture. So that's definitely one key area of leadership. And I think also they often set the direction for the team to follow. So I don't think that can be underestimated, that the team will follow the leader's direction. So yeah, that's what it means to me. And getting the right team as well. It's all about finding the right people, getting in the right team. And then I think from there, you need to let them do what they're good at, rather than kind of try and be the leader that's not maybe managing, because that's where I think leaders fall into being managers. And I think that's one of the challenges that people have in leadership.
Yeah, fantastic. So my final question is, based on your experiences so far, what advice would you give to anybody who wants to join a board, especially as a board apprentice? What would your advice or top tips be? Chloe, I'll go.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, for me, I'd say just be open to new opportunities. And if it seems scary or a bit of a challenge, then even more reason to tackle that head on. yeah, and just take everything, if you know, any opportunity that comes your way, take it, because why not? I think it's important just to be flexible, be adaptable, and that way you'll learn and you'll grow and develop. So
Yeah, fantastic. What about you, Lewis?
Yeah, for me, I would say you should go for it. And if you do so, immerse yourself in it, because you get out what you put in anything, right? So yeah, give yourself the opportunity, and then don't be afraid to contribute and share your insights, because I think that it's easy to join the board and be intimidated, but I don't think you should underestimate how you see things in your opinion, because I think that can really add value. So yeah, go for it, and put yourself out of your comfort zone, because I think you'll see the benefits in the long term.
Okay, fantastic. Well, that's it for this board chat. Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you both on future board chats. So thanks, Chloe, and thanks, Lewis.
thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Find out more today at mbhcorporation.com.